Boys, boys, boys and girls. Well, here we have it. Look, the orange one is not even remotely done. As you can see, there's still a lot of stuff missing. But she's running. And tonight is a bit of a longer video. I want to show you something, which is one of the little problems I have, and also some connect to that, the whole RC thing, because I've had guys telling me the last 2 weeks or so, or telling me that RC is the way to go and stuff like that. It's not. But we'll get to that now. Let me first show you it. All right, so the orange one now has the same speaker system in it that Jaco's Gulf Red one had. And then last night, the funniest thing happened. We made holes in the chassis facing the speaker down for the sound obviously to get out. And yes, it sounded like Jaco's one. It was lovely. Everything was cool. Very chuffed with it. But I did not fix the speaker down. So when I lifted the body up to check something on the decoder, the speaker actually, because it's magnetic, stuck to something and fell over. And when I put it back, I didn't look which way the speaker was facing. And it was actually facing to the back of the body. So the speaker box sits over here now, facing that way. And my goodness, did that make a big difference. Because it uses this whole body now as a sort of a speaker box and pumps the sound out of here like it's nobody's business. Look, I'm going to put the grits and stuff, and that will probably block some of it, but I'm going to try when I put the pipes in here not to block this off so I can get the sound out here. Sounds brutal, you will hear now. All right, and I put the smoker in. But the main reason why I am not done yet, okay, do you guys want to run this first? Well, you can't answer me, can you? We'll do that now. Let me tell you the problem I have. I know that with my 3 boosters and my ECOS, I will have enough power to handle 2 locos in the same sector, booster sector. Not 2 locos, 2 consists at the same time. That is 4 locos, all right? And if they're pulling on 2 of them, they pull a huge consist like I like to pull. And I run at a decent speed, say 60, 65, pretty typically more or less right. I can get away with under 7 amps fairly easily with smokers on and everything, okay? But we take these locos here now, for instance. These little 35 GEs, I mean, these things were 1,500 horsepower each. I mean, they don't have a hell of a lot of power. Well, actually, I've never seen one in a consist that's with some weight running single. Never in my life. They were always double or 3s. And I remember back in the day, they said 4 maximum on these things. But I think later on, they adapted it. I've seen 5 run. So, yeah, you want more than 1 in a consist, and preferably 3. Now, 3 would be first price, because that to me is 3 locos in a consist is just lovely. But we have the power problem. Now, I came up with this. I'm going to pick up this driepootjie. So just walk with me. This is what's going to happen now to the orange one. We have this here. Okay. So I decided, let's bring it closer, to do a dummy block. Now, it's fairly straightforward. I use a slightly bigger wheel than I use on my wagons, a 38mm in this case. We print the block like this, which is pretty straightforward. Instead of splitting the wheels off the axles, which is not ideal, this whole, it's split in the middle. You can see there, the whole block is split. You can split it open. You take this off, and then you got a carrier on the inside there, printed in PETG, which, as you can see, there's got very little play, but it's loose. So the wheels spin lovely. And then on the side frame, which I had here somewhere, obviously I'm going to do the same as I do on the locos that's motorized, run it with a bearing. You see there's the bearings in there, and that goes over the axle with the normal mounting that we use onto the chassis, like this mounting. Okay, so yeah. Now, a couple of things need to happen here. And I also need to speak to the guys that have got orders with me at the moment, why I don't think I want to do the dummies commercially. Because it's going to be not a hell of a lot cheaper than a non-motorized one. The reason being, it takes the same amount of time to build them. What you save is 10,000 Rand in electronics. That's that. I'm still going to charge you all my time to build the thing. And I'm still going to prep it, put all the pipes on it, do all the plumbing, build the interior, put the glasses on the gauges. It doesn't help you build a dummy that sticks out like a sore thumb because it looks so much different to the actual powered ones. So you don't want to do that. So they will be highly detailed. And what is the use of having a dummy if you can't get it to smoke? So this is what I'm going to do. On the orange one there, I'm going to put a plug at the back with 3 wires and run a second smoker into the dummy. See if I can run it off that XL. I've done it on the Garrett. There's a slight little less smoke output, but that's fine. It's prototypically correct. They didn't all smoke the same. So that's the plan. Just put a smoker in the dummy, run 3 wires from the decoder in the lead loco, and then run that off my sound file. That's the plan. That's what I'm going to do tomorrow and the day after and maybe the day after. Because I need to build a body, sand and build a body. I haven't got one yet where I can put these oaks in. All right. So, well, you can see if we go this way that they run quite smoothly. Okay, bye. There it goes. I know for a fact that a USA train powered loco in concert with another one, 4 USA train motor blocks. There is nothing on this track at this size that will stop it. 2 of them will pull anything you put behind it. So we sorted there. That's why I say I want to do the dummies for guys with big layouts like Yaku, myself, Henk maybe down in the Eastern Cape. Only problem is I'll have to get the lead locos back so I can wire them to accept the dummy. Or if you want to make it cheaper and not too worried about smoke, you build a dummy and then just run it as a wagon. Just put it behind it and run it. I'm not going to put a speaker in the dummies because they make such a racket, you will hear now, in any case, that I don't think a speaker will be necessary. All right. So just to get this whole thing started up for you, we'll go there now. So you see, the dummy idea is for me to have prototypically correct consists and not eat amps with another loco that's powered. It's not necessary. I don't need it. These two have got plenty power. You can pull anything with it. And that third one will just run with. That's the plan. For me that sell these things, I think commercially it will be a huge flop. Basically because of the price. I can't do the thing for 5 or 6 grand. I just can't, because they cost me 10 grand before I touch them. You know, if you look at a motor block and you look at a printed dummy block, the wheels are 150 rands each. You can't do anything about that. So you got 900 rand between the two blocks. That's just wheels. Then you got the printing, you got the side frames, and then you're only 2 grand away from a double block set, you know, so a driven block. So they're not going to be all that much cheaper. Yes, it will build quicker because I'm not going to bother with lights in the cabs. I'm not going to bother with any other lights. It's going to be a dark loco because they normally run in the middle. And, you know, so that bit will be out there. But the stuff that really takes time, the detail work, like the plumbing, that's still in there. So I'm still going to charge you 10 grand to build that thing because it takes a month of my time. Yeah, so I don't think it's financially viable for a guy with a small layout that wants to run trains up and down on his desk. For that sort of thing, 2 locos, if you want to run to your local club and go run them, you can do that. You've got enough power to pull anything. Whereas if you've got a driven one and a dummy, and you start piling wagons onto it, there's a lot of strain because they're heavy. There's a lot of strain on those motor blocks. They can probably handle it, but I don't want to find out. All right. Now, the other thing was, the problem I have at the moment is obviously because it's now a dummy, I need to make that thing as light as possible. And my biggest problem at the moment is getting that chassis stiff without using my 10mm square bar, because obviously I don't want to go that way. You know, it's good. I also don't like to use the body to keep the chassis straight. I don't think that's a good idea. It's never been a good idea. But we'll see. We'll see what we're going to do. I'll play with some flat bar tomorrow. Just maybe put a single one right through the middle of the chassis, just to keep it straight, and then put the body on, let the body do the rest. It's going to be lightweight. I want it to weigh maximum 1.5, 1.8, maybe 2 kgs. I don't think I'll come in under that. Just the body weighs about 800 grams. Those blocks are 250 each. You're already over a kg. So by the time you got the chassis and everything in, 2 kgs, 2 kgs maybe, but most likely 2.5, which is the same as a rather heavy freight wagon. Okay, I'm hampering on. Let's run these quickly, and then we can run into the RC thing and why I don't want to do it quickly. All right, let's start then. I'm gonna use this in my hand. Oh, look at this. This is the buzz wire. Like a formal, nice thick wire, soft. That's a speaker wire. That's a very, very good wire. You lose bugger all through those wires. All right. Okay, so let's go start these things up. Hear the sound of that orange thing. Let's run them down first. Reverse them. They sound brutal. Yeah, the bass on that front one. Difficult to hear on the phone, I guess, but yeah, it sounds nice. That front spoke is a brand new one, so that's still in the mood to smoke, and I filled it up as I put the wig in. I filled it with fluid, so that's still very smoky. And I upped it a bit. Yeah, the bass on this. Yeah. These sound nice, eh? Now there you can see that the blue one is slightly faster. Now the decoders are exactly the same file. That shows you when the trains run in, you know, how much difference there is in the motor box. I mean, this orange one has done probably 10 minutes now, and I also pumped it full of grease inside the motor when I did the wiring. Yes, so there you have it. There you have it. Now I'm going to take you out of the damn thing so I can have you in my hand. And we'll just, yeah, it feels like a good old friend that's back. Look, dudes, I've had guys hammering on about the whole RC thing. Now, I know I am going to take a lot of flack for this, and that's also my good. I'll take it. If I want RC stuff, I'll go buy myself a rock climber or an aeroplane or something like that. This is model trains. I do not want a battery to tell me how long I can run my stuff. I don't. Vibrators and torches uses batteries. Okay? It's just my take on it. The second thing is running 2 or 3 wagons behind this consist with big batteries in it, big heavy stuff, is just detrimental to whatever motor blocks I've got in front of you. I trust my motor blocks. I know I'm hammering on about it because I'm worried. This is Cape Gauge 1. This is not 1 in 29 scale USA stuff. This is not LGB. These things, a different ball game. Nobody wanted to believe me in the beginning. If I tell you that with 30 wagons, we're running 100 kg consists, it's a lot of weight, it's a lot of amps. The smoke and everything that goes with it it takes a lot of power. So you cannot go with a little 6 amp hour battery and think you're going to run this thing for an hour. You're not. You'll run it for, like they saw at the show in England, you're going to run it for 20 minutes and that battery's gone. All right. I'm just not a huge battery fan. You know, and having heavy stuff in the consist just to power the trains, you know, it's just not for me. I want my stuff to be digital. I want my stuff to smoke like the real thing. I want my stuff to be as prototypically close to scale as possible. And I can do that with my decoders. Yes, you have the converter things that you can run a decoder through the RC, but that from what I've heard and folks that I've spoken to is still not 100% sorted. There's still sound issues. There's still some other issues with it. Running straight this Blue Nami stuff now, I hear it's brilliant. It's not for me, guys, because it doesn't matter how good that decoder is. If there's no interface between me and that decoder, doesn't matter if it can fly to the moon or guide something to the moon, it's not good enough for me. I need to be able to get into a sound file, do my smoke files. I need to be able to do magic with that decoder. ESU at this stage is the only guys that give me that off the shelf. And that is just my take on it. I do not want RC stuff. You know, it's for all the reasons I've mentioned. Yes, you sit with tons of wire here. You sit with extremely expensive boosters. You sit with an extremely expensive machine. It's very easy to spend 15 in your money, the overseas guys, 2,000 euro on controllers and boosters. It's easy. However, flip side of the coin, if you want to run with ESU decoders, they're 200 euro each now for an XL5, just to get all the functions. And you want to run that with a converter or something that takes the RC power to DCC, that's another $100 or whatever. You know, then that 2,000 euro or whatever is not a hell of a lot of money. You start converting 20 and 30 locos, you're there very, very quickly. I can understand guys that got layouts outside, extreme weather, minus 30 to plus 30, and it's dirt and dust and wildlife stuffing up track. Yes, by all means, go RC, I understand that. But for this setup here, and for my scale I don't see it being viable. I know Andrew Giffen that built this Garrett, he did one for Ron, and it's RC, and it ran at the show, and it's fine, but he's got huge batteries on that thing. I don't know how long it runs, I never asked him. I'm just not that interested in it. And another guy said to me, he stripped his mood with me a bit. Yes, but you're cutting your market in half, because everybody in Britain is running Dead rail. Well, lekker man. Really? If that's the case, then so be it. I'm not going to convert my stuff to RC. Then I just let the Britons play with their RC stuff, and I will play over here with my digital stuff. If some American guys bought some from me and converted it themselves successfully, I think. I've never heard from them again, so I reckon they did it. And so it can be done, but me building them, not interested. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to alter a loco just to do that. To me, it's a mission already, just putting the wires in that thing to get the dummy on it. I don't like altering my models. It's just, yes, shoot me. I am just like that. Love me or hate me. I'm very set in my ways. And maybe it's wrong, but this is what I want to do, and this is how I'm going to do it. Yeah, so that basically shoots the whole thing, the whole RC thing out the sky in flames for me. I don't think it's the right scale. I don't think that the people realize how hard these things work to pull these consists. And until you have one and you've run them and lived with them, then only will you notice that this is not a normal scale. You know, yes. Dudes, okay, I'm rambling on. I'm very, very tired. It's late now. I'm going to bed. It's nearly midnight. So I will speak to you folks later. And then, yeah, tell me what you think of this whole thing here. Look, I like to debate. You know, tell me your RC stories. I'm not shooting you down because you're doing RC stuff. I'm not. I'm just telling you that I'm not going to do it. End of story. And if I lose sales, then so be it. You know, then I cater for somebody else. I've got an open line to Europe for the new Zemo controller. Is apparently very good. You know, with the ECOS, I will see now what it does with all the boosters. That's just me. That's just me. Okay. Guys, right. Lekker julle. Let's get rid of this serious stuff. And then we will take things further tomorrow when I put the lights and all the windows and stuff into this train. By 2 or 3 days from now, I will show you a video, and hopefully we can get the thing to smoke and we have a little dummy train. It might not be painted, but it will be there. I just want to test and see if I can do the decoder programming to operate the second smoker. Dudes, till later. Goed julle oukies. Tot ziens.